All right, I have Dora Tovar with me. She's running for Arlington City Council, District 3. Dora, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Chris.
That's our pleasure. Are you ready to get your first question?
Absolutely.
All right. So your first question is, please introduce yourself to the voters of Arlington. How long have you lived here? What is your occupation? And what notable experiences do you have serving our community? This will be a 3-minute response.
Okay. My name is Dora Tovar. I have lived here almost 20 years. I moved here from New York with my family after 9/11, home sight unseen, purchased it because I am a public relations professional and a communications professional, and I set up an agency. I both of my children have been educated in Mansfield schools. I live in the southeast part of the district, the far southeast, that used to be the last block of District 3 when I first moved here. So I've had the pleasure of watching the city grow. My unique experience is that I'm both a businesswoman, but I'm also a student of government, and I have participated and represented the state of Texas at the state level. I worked in the legislature. I have an undergraduate degree in political science with an emphasis in local government. I know and I believe that decisions most important ones are made locally. And this is my opportunity to give back to my community that have really embraced us as a family. My daughter was a student athlete that represented Texas and went on to break records in Oklahoma. And now that they're professionals, my neighborhood has changed. I know that I've engaged extensively as a member of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of Arlington a decade ago. I'm involved in sports marketing. I served as the agency for the North Texas Super Bowl. So I'm highly vested in the city of Arlington, the vision that we have of strong economic development and community engagement.
Thank you. Okay, your next question. Why are you running for office? And this will be a 2-minute response.
I'm running for office because I believe that, like others, we need to get our hands dirty and be prepared to volunteer. I am a member of my homeowners association board, and I believe in the strength of neighborhoods and residents in the public process. And I believe that a lot of residents are newer to the area because of our growth, and they're disconnected and feel that there's a lack of transparency. I want to ensure to strengthen the representation that we've had in the past and be a strong voice for District 3 as we roll out significant development projects along 360 in the bond program, and that really focus on economic development and growth of our neighborhoods.
Thank you. Okay, your next question. What are your top 3 priorities for stimulating small business activity and entrepreneurship in Arlington? This will be 2 minutes.
Well, I've been a successful small business for over 20 years. I started in California and in Austin, but here in North Texas, I've been a business owner for 17 years. We need in Arlington to spend the kind of investment in small business that bolsters the kind of incubation that we have invested for technology. We need that infrastructure. UTA has been very supportive, but I think we need to get cohorts of businesses engaged directly in supporting one another rather than, like myself, I'm a home-based business, but I serve Fortune 100 companies, and we need to dialogue and develop a small business development strategic plan for the next 5 years so that small business has always been a strong part of our economy. We need to make sure that it's on a fast pace to grow. And we do that by measuring it and setting goals identifying key industries. We are a powerhouse and we're underutilizing our small businesses.
Thank you. Okay, your next question. Do you feel that the current development impact fee schedule, certificate of occupancy procedures, or permitting processes should be modified? And if so, in what ways? This will be 2 minutes.
This is really challenging because I think it changes. We have such a diversity of neighborhoods and occupancy issues. I would like to see more information from the planning and zoning on why this is. I think residents need to be aware of it. I know for my neighborhood association, even, we care about these occupancy processes. But it's happening so quickly that I think residents and small business owners and property owners are at odds, and we don't necessarily need to be. I think we need to have more dialogue before we focus on making changes.
Thank you. Okay, next question. What should the city do differently, if anything, to address problems with neglected multifamily housing structures? And this will be 2 minutes.
Yesterday, I was just in a discussion with some developers in the south, east part of the district. And this is why one of the reasons I'm running is I have been a consultant to the city of Dallas and the city of Fort Worth and the city of Irving, and they have engaged consultants in community planning, which is not the same thing as a 5-year plan that's put together by administrators that the community never sees and just knows that this is part of a strategic plan. Other municipalities that I've mentioned, they sit down with their neighbors to discuss these issues, decide what portion of green space we want. What do we want to do with multifamily housing? Should we turn those into green space parks if retail viability is not an option? But those discussions can't just stay at planning and zoning. They need to be part of neighborhood discussions. And I've invited developers to use City of Arlington amenities, facilities, the great infrastructure that we have when it comes to sports. We see a different level of cooperation than we see in housing development initiatives. So I just want to balance it a little bit. I don't think that what we've been doing is necessarily incorrect. I just think it has been narrowly focused. And in some areas, we need community engagement. And I want to be a strong voice for Arlington and make sure that all stakeholders are at the table.
Thank you. Okay, your next question. What sort of policies might you pursue, if any, to promote social justice, equity, and inclusion in our community? And this will be a 2-minute response.
First of all, I need to tell you, I am a minority-owned business. I'm Hispanic, and I have been, that has afforded me tremendous opportunities to showcase my expertise, not mentor me, but where I am given a level playing field coming from working in New York to bring that expertise as a small business here in Arlington. I believe that some of those programs need to be updated in the minority procurement area. The city of Arlington, and this is a discussion that I had with Mayor Cluck a long time ago about ensuring that we do have access, equal access to big opportunities. I'm kind of a showcase of that because I work directly on Super Bowl 45. I think those initiatives are extremely valuable. I want to continue to strengthen them. I do think we need to do more in getting more businesses to participate, and that kind of dovetails with my earlier answer of how to focus on small business to ensure that there is social justice and equity. With regards to social justice specifically, I know that the community has come to me raising a lot of questions about police funding. I'm a supporter of police programs. In the past, we've had access to federal grants, and we need to revisit that.
Thank you. Okay, your next question. What initiatives will you pursue, if any, to address homelessness and poverty in Arlington? This will be 2 minutes.
Well, I think we have some tremendous leaders in Arlington, starting with Mission Arlington. And rather than taking away from what already works, if, as we say, right, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But really, that area has grown tremendously. I think we've learned in the pandemic, we've got a couple significant challenges because of the closing of businesses and the financial impact on our residents. And unfortunately, poverty, the data on Arlington residents in poverty has increased. So I would create a task force, but I want Mission Arlington leading this. We already have an organization that works. Let's see how we can expand that, perhaps partner, bring some partners to the table for Mission Arlington to ensure that we're meeting capacity and that we're looking forward. I think there's a lot of housing development opportunities because we're a great place to live, that other development companies would be willing to come and assist us and develop some very exciting mini housing programs that exist in other cities in the state. We don't have to reinvent everything. We have a tremendous platform, being the city of Arlington, to work with the League of Cities. I have a relation, have worked with the League of Cities and other organizations really on the social equity and understanding what happens to municipalities like Farmers Branch when we exclude people and the economic impact. They have real costs.
Thank you. Okay, next question. What specifically will you do to build better working partnerships with the University of Texas at Arlington, Tarrant County College, or the Arlington Independent School District? And this will be a 2-minute response.
This is a great question, and thank you for asking this. Um, and then lost by a very short um, amount. And part of that was the
Hey,
fact
Dora,
that
I'm sorry, I'm going to stop you for a second. You cut out there for a second, so I'm going to
one of
restart the timer and let you resume your answer. Okay. Uh-oh. Are you still there? Dora, can
okay,
you? Okay.
I'm okay. I think we're better now. I can
Okay.
hear,
Yeah.
I can see you. Okay, good, great. So
So
I'll
let
start
me.
again.
I'm going to restart the timer, and I'm going to ask the question again so that you
Okay,
can start over.
okay, great.
So let me. Okay. So the question was, what specifically will you do to build better working partnerships with the University of Texas at Arlington, Tarrant County College, or the Arlington Independent School District? And this will be 2 minutes.
Thank you. This is a great question. As a mom, I became very involved in the Mansfield School District because I feel strongly that if Arlington residents and our tax base, together with Grand Prairie, we underwrite the Mansfield School District. And so I feel that these issues are very important, not when, especially because we have areas like this district where we share school district representation amongst two municipalities. We really have a challenge, and I would set up a task force because Arlington residents in part of District 3 under White Mansfield School District, and they're great. And I think both school districts have direct pipelines from TCC, and I have great relationships with the chancellors of TCC uh, to ensure that we have a smooth transition from high school to TCC into UTA. I happen to have a son who's in that engineering process, Mansfield Schools to TCC. So I understand how important these pipelines are. I want to make sure that they're working more effectively in District 3, where we have two school board districts to account for. That requires additional engagement. The great thing is that Raul Gonzalez has been a trustee of Mansfield ISD for many years. And there's a lot of great working relationships that we already have in place that are important to continue. So I'm not new to this discussion. I've continued this discussion and my leadership and the track record in really building this because this is our future.
Thank you. So your next question, this will be a 2-minute response. Do you think that the City Council should take additional steps to mitigate the negative effects of tourism-based economic activity on established neighborhoods and long-term residents?
Chris, I think that this is a very important issue. And I do think there should be some serious consultation discussions with those affected neighborhoods first before the city takes a action. I have worked with many municipalities in North Texas. And I just want to say for the record, I've never worked for the city of Arlington as a consultant, but I have worked for the city of Irving, the city of Fort Worth, and the city of Dallas. And their Convention and Visitors Bureau has a very different approach to some of these issues, which is not let the city lead, but let the Convention and Visitors Bureau's officials reach out to neighborhoods and do the first part of the consultation and mitigation and come up with community-based proposals of those affected neighborhoods. And that's the process that I would support if the city were to take action. My first question would be, what did the neighborhood associations in those affected neighborhoods say? What is their priority? What would they like to see in terms of mitigation? And in my discussions with residents, many feel that there was a different level of consultation on the front end of the new stadium and ballpark than there is now since those facilities have been built. And I would like us to return to that high contact with residents.
Thank you. Okay, ready for your final question?
Yes.
All right, and this will be a 3-minute response. What will make you a better candidate for city council than your competitors?
My experience. I have business experience. I'm a crisis communicator. I know how to listen, especially with entities that have competing or sometimes completely different opinions. And so that 25-year experience in public relations as a communications professional, working on behalf of companies and on the behalf of citizens and nonprofits, is what I bring to the table. And that allows me to be a better listener and also a better leader, and not just focus on outcomes and policy without the critical consultation process that is what makes our public policy and the public sector work, is the humanity and caring and listening and being engaged. And that's what makes Arlington a great city. And we need to return to those dialogues.
Dora, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time and best of luck to you on your campaign.
Thank you.
Thank you.